There are actually a lot of good things that I want to say about what happened tonight against the Eagles, but of course, the Dallas Cowboys shoot themselves in the foot. Shocker. We had a chance. We had every opportunity to win this game. The offense was elite. Dak looked amazing. The run game. When did that show up? I did not think the run game was going to be that good. The offensive line looked really good on the rushing and pass protection. Everything about the offense was great. Our secondary played really, really well for the receivers that they had to go up against, and they held Saquon to 60 rushing yards. Saquon Barkley, the guy who rushed for 2,000 yards last season, they held to 60 rushing yards. This was a phenomenal game. There was pretty much no mistakes, out of course, the crucial ones that cost them the game. A game that came down to simple mistakes. Before we get too far, I just want to say I'm dealing with strep throat or COVID symptoms, so I feel like at any point in this video I'm gonna hawk up or die. Just leave me. Let's just the run game, okay? The run game was great, and it was working with Javonte Williams. He actually was having a nice night. 15 carries, 64 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. That offensive line was moving. They were pushing Philly's defensive line back. Now I know that they were without Jalen Carter after he decided to spit on Dak Prescott after the opening kickoff. First of all, what makes you think you can do that as a man? And I'd be ashamed. And obviously to let your teammates down is also another story, but honestly, he should be suspended. But back to what I was saying, the offensive line was moving really amazing. That was the best run game I've seen for the Cowboys probably since 2023, maybe 2022 when Tony Pollard was healthy. I also want to know why Jaden Blue was a healthy scratch, but I guess we'll never know. And so at this point, it's 24-20, about midway through the third quarter, and you get a nice boost from Miles Sanders, who gets 49 yards. My first complaint about that is he was moving at the speed of molasses at no running back should ever go. He had the gap on Zach Bond once he broke free and Zach Bond caught up with him. I don't think Javonte Williams, maybe he doesn't get caught right there. Jaden Blue definitely doesn't get caught on that run. He had the gap, and that should have been a touchdown. And then now we're moving on to third down. They throw it to Jake Ferguson, who is clobbered by Reed Blankenship, and now it extends the drive, and you give Sanders another chance because of the fact that he was moving. He had the 50-yard carry. Let's see if we can get in a rhythm. And he fumbles the football. He fumbles the football. That was one of, if not maybe the most important drive of the game in that moment. That drive was going to change the outcome. They had the opportunity to create pressure and put the Eagles' backs against the wall, and Miles Sanders loses the football. Of all things, I honestly want to say, I wish I could say I'm shocked, but I'm not. That's just what it's been. This is typical. This has been the standard. And then at that point, the defense starts playing really well. The Eagles didn't score for the rest of the game up until this point. After the rain delay, they started blitzing, and things were working. The adjustments were working, and the Eagles' offense couldn't find anything. So now you get into the last drive of the game. 3 minutes and 2 seconds left to go. You know the saying. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And so you believe that CeeDee Lamb can be that guy to make the plays, right? Right? Apparently wrong. On the last drive of the game, he has not 1, not 2, but 3 drops. 2 of them were on the biggest plays of the game that literally went through his hands, that could not have been placed any better by Dak Prescott. and CeeDee Lamb just whiffs it. He had 4 drops against the Eagles. Of all people who I thought could be the reason for a Cowboys loss tonight, if you told me it was going to be CeeDee Lamb, I would have laughed at you. I wouldn't have believed it. But here we are. 2 perfectly placed balls, and they're dropped. It's a new year, and it's still the same story because there are so many positive things I want to say. I know CeeDee Lamb is a player who normally takes some time to get going. He takes about 1 or 2 weeks before he gets into his rhythm. That's what we've seen. And so I'm not really shocked by 1 or 2 drops. Like the early one, I'm like, sure, okay, listen, CeeDee Lamb always takes time to get going. He needs 1 or 2 games to find his rhythm. But it's not like he was having a bad game before the drops. He had 7 catches for 110 yards and 1 drop before the final drive. It's not like he was having a bad game. And then on the final drive, he has 3 drops. Three drops. I do want to mention some positives because there are a lot of things that I actually believe went really well for the Dallas Cowboys tonight. And I'm very impressed with it, and I think that's something they can build off of. First of all, I want to give props to Brian Schottenheimer. I think he called a phenomenal game for his head coaching debut. The offense had lots of pre-snap motion. The schemes were very well suited. Lots of play action. They built off the run game. Once Javonte Williams got going, that opened up the ability to let Dak thrive in play action, and it did. A lot of the big plays came on play action. I doubted him at the hiring. But since training camp, I have only become more and more of a Brian Schottenheimer believer, and that does not change for me at all tonight. I think that he is going to be a coach and a great head coach because of how well he understands his offensive players. He was the reason that Dak was on an MVP level in 2023 because he approached McCarthy about changing the scheme, and that it worked then. It's going to work now. If anyone knows Dak Prescott, it's Brian Schottenheimer, and that's why I'm not doubting him. I want to restate how much I was impressed with the run game because that looked a lot better than expected. You go and sign some washed-up guys and Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, and you draft a few guys in Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa, so you have this kind of just cohesive, interesting room of like who can be that guy, and I think we saw tonight clearly right now it is Javonte Williams, and it probably isn't close right now. We do need to see some more of Jaden Blue. I am disappointed he wasn't healthy scratch, and I really hope we can see him against the Giants, but Javonte Williams looked really nice. He looked refreshed. He had the whole offseason to recover, and now I think he's going to be able to get back in a rhythm that we saw a few years ago with the Broncos. He was fighting for every yard. He was running angry, and that offensive line was just pushing, and he was doing it as well. So I think there is a lot of good things to like about Javonte Williams. I think he can be a really underrated asset. He's on a 1-year deal, so who knows? This could just be a prove-it year to him, and he balls out and earns a longer contract. The run blocking was sensational. I think Tyler Booker looked really great in his first, real NFL action. Cooper Bebe was solid. Tyler Smith, of course, is good. Terrence Steele wasn't bad at all. I don't think they had many. I don't know how many sacks they had, but I don't think it was many. Not a lot of holding penalties either. I know Tyler Smith had one. Then let's talk about Tyler Guyton, the left tackle they drafted last year, who had really a less than impressive rookie season, looked really solid tonight. So I'm very impressed with his offensive line play. I think that really they have the best potential offensive line that we've seen in the last few years, especially after the fact that they have to replace Zach Martin and you got Tyler Booker, who is just a straight dog. So I think that this offensive line is going to play really well, both as a run blocking unit and a pass protection unit. Really liked what I saw from them tonight. The secondary played really well. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith only combined for 24 receiving yards. That tells me a lot. Trayvon looked healthy after recovering from that knee injury. Deron Bland was Deron Bland. And really, outside of the huge chunk play to Jahan Dotson, Kyer Elam did not have a terrible game. So I was somewhat impressed with him. I think our secondary did a really good job of shutting them down, much better than I expected them to. And the run defense was actually pretty solid outside of Jalen Hurts. Saquon only had 60 rushing yards, which would have been the second lowest of last season. So there are some really good things to be excited about for Cowboys fans. The pass rush did take some time to get going, but like I said, after the rain delay, it seemed like that they got things moving. I think there's going to be a little bit of time to figure out who's going to step up. Is it going to be Donovan Ezra-Carraro, who they drafted in the second round? I probably butchered that name. I'm sorry. Can it be Dante Fowler, who had 10 sacks last year? Just this defense looked much better than I expected, and Dak looked like 2023 Dak. He was mobile. He was patient. He found his targets. I think his pocket presence was maybe the best I've seen maybe in his entire career. I feel like he was reading that pocket very well, finding his reads, stepping up, and creating space. I feel like this really maybe isn't a fluke. You know, last year they beat the crap out of the Browns in week 1 and then absolutely fell off a cliff, but I feel really good with the way that the Cowboys played tonight, outside of these simple mistakes that cost them a game. If they get those things down, then they are going to be a dangerous team in the NFC. I'm very impressed with how they played, and it sucks that it came down to crucial turnovers. The one turnover they had killed the game, and drops by a top 5 receiver. It's unfortunate that's how it came, but now it's time to move on to the Giants. I'm going to try and do these videos every single week, so make sure you drop a like if you enjoyed this one, subscribe if you're new, and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss my reaction videos to the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to try and get all 17 of these. It's going to be tough, but I think we're going to have a great time. So, thank you guys so much for watching. We them boys. We're not done yet. This is our year. Not actually. I'm very delusional. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do all the things. And until next time, this is Ty Talk Sports signing off, and I will see y'all next time.